In this video, I'm going to show you how you can add awesome web animations to your existing Shopify theme homepage in just minutes. Just copy and paste my code, enter in your element selectors, and you are free to animate anything you'd like using the free GSAP animation library. Let's get started. To get started, just open up your theme that you would like to edit. I always recommend duplicating your theme so that if you screw anything up, it's not going to affect your live store. Once you've duplicated your theme, just click on the three-dot menu and click Edit Code, and it should take you right here to the code editor. Now, to do a quick introduction of GSAP, what it is it's a JavaScript library that you can use to basically make animations a lot easier. If you come to their homepage at gsap.com, you can follow guides and learn this stuff really well. It's pretty cool and it's not too hard to get started, especially if you have some experience with JavaScript. But if not, it's okay. Just follow along the best you can and you should be able to animate your site in just a few moments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into my code and I'm going to go to layout theme.liquid. Now, there's a couple things we're going to add in here. This is the only file that we're going to actually touch. But if you go to the very bottom of this file, you're going to look for this tag right here, this closing body tag. And it's probably going to be towards the bottom. And what we're going to do is we're going to paste a couple things. The first is just going to be this link right here. What this is basically going to load this GSAP library for us so that we can then use it in our code. So this is a requirement, needs to be there. And then below that, we're going to paste our code. So right below that, I'm going to paste, and you'll see that I have this other script tag with this event listener. If none of this makes sense to you, don't worry about it too much. I'm going to teach you what you need to know about it, hopefully. So I'm just going to get it formatted, and then we should be able to roll. Now, I'm going to explain this the best I can, but I want to be quick. So I have these two variables here because there's basically two different ways that we're going to animate. We're going to have a faster animation, and we're going to have a slower animation. The faster animation is going to be what we have display at the top, and then following that is going to be the hero section below it. So the first thing that we do is we create this variable called TL, and essentially this is just the GSAP timeline of all the different animations that we're going to have. Okay, and then we're going to start animating the actual elements, and you can see that I've added several here. Okay, so each of these is for a different part of website. So what I'm going to do is actually preview this theme. Okay, and you can see here it is right now. If I do a refresh, you'll see it just loads as is, no animations or anything like that. Okay, but what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to right click on a Mac, and on a Windows, it should be the same, but you're going to try to open up Inspect right here. And then we're going to have this element tab. I'm using Google Chrome. It's my preferred browser, but you should be able to do this in, I think, any other browser. So what we're going to do is once we have this element tab open, and if you're not on the element tab, you should be able to click here, and there's several different options, but what we want is this one. And then you have this right here that you can click on. And then you're able to click on any element on the page and it's going to open it up here. If you don't have this, you should be able to just right click on the element itself and then click inspect, and it should do the same thing. Now, the reason that we need to open this element tab is because in our code, what we're doing is we're specifying these animations that we want to take place, but we need to specify what we want GSAP to animate. And the way to do that is by using what's known as classes and IDs. So if you look here in all this HTML, if you don't understand it, that's okay. But I'm just going to point you to a couple keywords here. So if you look, we have this class word appearing in most of these elements. And the class is a way that we can specify which element we want to use. Another one is called an ID. And an ID is basically the same thing. I don't see one in use right here, but instead of class, it just says ID, and it's almost the same thing. So to get started, let me show you how we want to do this. So I have listed several different things we're going to animate, but there's a chance that your homepage is different than mine. You may not have these same elements. You may not have a hero banner with text that you want to animate, and that's okay. Hopefully I can show you how you can add and remove this pretty easily. So the first thing I have here, you'll see this comment, is the logo. So I need to be able to target the logo first. So again, I'm going to click here and select my logo. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the class of the class name of this element. And I'm going to go right here. You can see if I double click, I can actually copy and edit this if I want. So just make sure you come in and grab the class. If your image right here doesn't have a class, that's okay. Just grab the one above it. You'll see there's one here. And then I want to make sure you only select one class. You can see here in this one right here, there's actually several different class names and they're separated with a space. So header, heading, link, that's one. Link is another. And then, so we only want to select one class in this case. So again, I'm going to come and I'm going to grab the class here. And after I've done that, I'm going to come back to the code. And when you're doing a class, this is incredibly important. You make sure you do a dot first, and then you can paste it in. You have to have this dot or else it won't work. If you grab an ID, then it needs to be like this with a hash right here, the number logo. That is how you grab an ID, but in this case, we're using a class. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this, and we should be able to see this work immediately. Okay, cool. So you can see it's very fast because I don't want this to be too slow, but you can see my logo is now quickly fading in. All right, so let's keep moving down the list. And I know that's underwhelming, but as we add these, I promise it'll look a lot better. So the next thing I've added is a mobile drawer. And the reason this is second is because I wanna make sure that we do this in order so it looks good. Maybe you'll see what I mean, but what I'm gonna do is to actually get that mobile drawer. If you're not sure what I'm talking about this right here. Most themes seem to have this, where on a smaller screen, it's gonna do this little menu here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select it using our tool here. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna use the actual SVG, but what I am gonna do is look for a good ID right here. So this is an ID one, we'll use that. I'm gonna copy this, come back, and I'm gonna replace this, but remember it's an ID, so this time I'm gonna use that hash symbol. And then I'm gonna save and refresh. Okay, cool, and you can see it sliding in there. Okay, so that's what we want. Moving on down the list. If you don't have any of these, you can just delete them if you want. It's no big deal, or you can change the class or the ID to whatever it is that you do want to animate. Okay, the header links. So if I open it back up to a bigger screen, these are what I'm looking for right here. Now this is important because I want to make sure you grab this the correct way. If you grab the individual link, then they will animate one at a time. So what that means is you can see right here, it's highlighting just the home button. So if I do it this way, it's gonna animate home, then catalog, then contact. Whereas if I grab like the whole menu like this, then all three of them would animate at the same time. Okay, so it's basically treating it as them all as one or individually. So in this case, I actually wanna do it individually. So I'm gonna come back here and you can see all of these different class names, but I only want this first one, header menu item. So I'm gonna come back here, I'm gonna do dot, oops, I'm in the wrong spot. I'm gonna do dot, and then I'm gonna paste that in, and then we can save, and you can test really fast here. So boom, you can see that. It looks really good. They kind of slide in one after another. So far this looks good. I want my logo to show up first, and then quickly everything else to follow. So let's keep moving down the list. Header icons, so that's gonna be these right over here. And I'm gonna come in and identify these. And it looks like header icon right here. That looks like the best option. So I'm gonna come back, use dot, and then paste that in. And we can test that very quickly. Awesome. So if you actually look at the whole thing, it looks pretty smooth. The logo comes in first, and then it goes left to right. Yeah, I like that a lot. And then lastly, for this video, I'm gonna do some of this content right here in the hero. So I'm gonna come in, I should follow my list, hero banner heading. So again, right click or just use this tool, grab this heading, and then right here, remember only the first class, so this banner heading, come back and paste. And if I save and refresh, that looks pretty good so far. All right, let's continue on. And now we just need the text. So again, just gonna do the text right below it. You'll see that this one doesn't have a class. That's fine. I'm just gonna grab the one right above it because you can see it highlights. So as long as it's highlighting the right section, you should be fine. So I'm gonna double click in there, take this first class. Dot banner text. Okay, cool. So far so good. And last but not least, we're gonna get this button. I'm gonna do this one, banner buttons. Cool, and I'm going to save that and refresh. Awesome. Okay, so you can see this looks pretty good so far. The logo comes in, then they fall in one after another, and then our banner data appears nice and smooth as well. So this is very cool. Now I'm not going to teach you all about GSAP because this video would be too long. I'm happy to make a video on that. I'd love to actually. If that's something you'd be interested in, let me know in the comments. But you can go through and you can actually see the different elements that we are animating here. So like scale for the button, you'll see that when we do this refresh, it actually like grows, like it's smaller and then it expands. And that's because we're using scale, and then it also like appears from thin air. So that's opacity. Y just means we're sliding in from the top. You can animate it on the x-axis as well. And this is all really cool stuff. And if you want to change the duration of these different elements, you can do that right here just by updating these numbers, and it will change the timing if you want it to be faster or slower. So I hope that this has been helpful. I think it looks pretty slick, and this is just the beginning, but you can really use this now it's in your theme. You can go ahead and animate any of these properties that you want and do some really cool stuff. So I'd like to make some more videos doing this type of stuff if you're interested. Again, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.